The country artist Jelly Roll said this last night at the Grammys in his acceptance speech.
There was a time in my life, y'all, that I was broken. That's why I wrote this album. I didn't think I had a chance, y'all. There was days that I thought the darkest things. I was a horrible human. There was a moment in my life that all I had was a Bible this big and a radio the same size and a 6x8 foot cell. And I believed that those two things could change my life. I believed that music had the power to change my life and God had the power to change my life. And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him. I love you, Lord.
I imagine people can come up with all kinds of things to minimize what Jelly Roll said. His messy life and his past and his wife's past, even current things they say. But I want to remind us of two things. One, I think of when Paul said in Philippians 1, people have all kinds of motives for why they preach the gospel, selfish ambition or whatever. But I am just glad that either way, the gospel of Jesus is proclaimed. I have no idea what Jelly Roll's motives are for this. And yeah, his life has been a mess, but hey, I don't know about you. My life has been messy. You could argue that secret sin and public sin is just as destructive. It's just less loud. All I know is I'm so grateful that in my life, God hasn't left me where he found me. Second, in Revelation, it talks about how we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. What I heard from Jelly Roll was his testimony. It's his story. If nothing else, it invites other people who see a need in their life for redemption to have a story and a testimony of their own because of God. In last week's episode, which was the first episode of the Christian Music Maker podcast, I talked about how it's for Christians who make music. It doesn't matter what the audience is. And I think last night showed how whether your audience is Christians or it's beyond the walls of the church, you can make a big impact as a Christian who makes music.